Hi, this is Tom with Organic Living. Today we are going to demonstrate how to sharpen a knife, which is a kitchen essential that most people neglect. And we're going to do it with a sharpening steel. But there is alternatives as a ceramic sharpening rod, or there's various size ones, the shorter ones. This one here is a 50-year-old sharpening steel. They just don't wear out. They last forever. So you could, if you're going to purchase one that is a really good quality, one that feels good in your hand. The usual ones nowadays are your plastic handle and short, but you can find used ones that are the old style with the wooden handle. But they don't seem like they have very deep ridges in it, which they don't, but they work. And they work really good, and they're very easy to use. You could use it on any style knife. It just depends on what angle you want to put on the knife. What angle that originally the purpose of the knife is for. Say first, this knife we use the most often, and this is a traditional Japanese vegetable cutting knife, which has the least angle on it so that you can cut quickly through vegetable. You know, the other style of knives would be the traditional chef's knife, which has a steeper angle on it to make it stronger, so that in case you were cutting something that was tough, that it won't nick the edge. These ones, you know, just for vegetables. I wouldn't even use this knife on like a winter squash. Cutting it through the stem is too hard because you're going to put on here an angle where you can quickly slice through any type of vegetable with ease. But you don't want to hit anything hard with it. So what's the important thing to do is the angle that you want to put on it. That's going to be the difference between the two knives. Most of the vegetable knives, if it says a vegetable knife, this has a very small angle on it. Let's say if you want to start with, this is 180-degree angle, you know, half of that would be 90, half of that would be 45, half of that would be roughly 22. What you want to do is go half of that, so about a 10 to 15-degree angle. And that's going to make it, it's a little harder to sharpen if you haven't sharpened your knife in a long time. It'll take a little more time because it's, you're sharpening, say, the, you know, very far up the knife versus just the edge, right? When you're doing a small angle like that, you're sharpening more of the knife. So if you have, and you know, you don't have to be that particular. Once you just get the feeling of what 10 to 15 degrees is, it just automatically comes to it. It doesn't have to be exact. And so all you do is just bring the knife from the very base of the knife all the way to the tip. That's why I like a long one. Well, a short one, you can do it. You know, even if it's a short one, you can do it just like that. But a long one it seems easier and less time. So you do the top and the bottom. Top and the bottom. And all you need to do, it depends on, I guess it depends on how long it's been since you've sharpened your knife. But if you're doing this once a month, say, you don't have to do it like all the time. Some people will do it every day. They're going to do it, but you know, just for home use. I mean, that's all you do is just do that. And now you want to test it. You have to be careful doing this, but you just take your finger and go across the blade. Don't go this way, but just straight across like this. And you can feel, when you first start, feel your knife. Go like that. And you can feel that is the dullness of it. And you'll notice the difference if you do it a few times, 10 times, whatever, that you'll feel the sharpness of it. And when it feels sharp, you'll get to know that's the sharpness that you want to go with. And you can do it fast. You don't have to do it slow like this. You can do it slow at the beginning, but I mean, if I'm doing it like this. And that's it. That knife is really sharp. If you haven't done it for a really long time, you might have to, let's say this knife. We don't use as much as this knife, so you would have to do it, let's say, you can hear the difference in the knife, steel, but you might have to do it longer. If you did it once a week, that much would be enough. And you can feel it. That is really sharp. The other style knife is this, which is a different grade of steel. It's this thinner grade, but it keeps an edge really good. It's called a Mac knife, and you would do it the same way. It doesn't take much to sharpen this knife at all. Like I said, some people will use a ceramic sharpening rod, which works very good. The downside of it is if you bang it or if you drop it, it breaks like glass. It's ceramic. It's supposedly harder than steel, but I traditionally like a regular sharpening steel. Now, this knife is very sharp. The other style, there's two other styles. Here, now you have the paring knife. And the paring knife is the same way. We use a paring knife probably more often, so you might have to sharpen it more often. But I usually, and the knife has to be dry. You don't want to use a wet knife because it doesn't work wet. So you want to do it like before you're going to start in the morning, just sharpen them. And when I sharpen, I usually sharpen all of them at once. And it only takes like 5 minutes, sharpen all the knives. This is the other story here. This traditional chef's knife has a little more angle on it, so you just hold it up a little more, and so the angle on the end to sharpen it, if you did it like this, like the vegetable knife, it would take you a very long time to sharpen it where that edge is going to feel sharp. So you just hold it at a little more angle, that's all. And that's it. That knife is very sharp. Any knife you have, you would sharpen it the same way. It doesn't matter the style. Like I said, this one that has ridges on it or whatever is still the same thing. You just have to see if it's less of an angle or more of an angle. Now you could take, once these knives are sharp, you could, I should say, you have to wipe the knife off after you do it because there might be small particles of steel left either from the rod or from the knife. So before you use the knife, make sure that you wash it off, or else at least wipe it off with a paper towel to start. Then happy cutting. Thank you.